What every podcaster needs to know about intellectual property. That's this week on Legit Podcast Pro. Hello and welcome back to Legit Podcast Pro. I'm your host, Gordon Firemark, the podcast lawyer. And in the dynamic realm of podcasting, there is much more to the game than just hitting record. Today, we're taking a look at the world of intellectual property, specifically patents, trademarks, and copyrights, and we'll uncover their relevance in podcasting and arm you with a little bit of knowledge that every podcaster should have. So let's just jump right in and start with patents. In the podcasting world, patents might seem sort of distant and irrelevant, but believe it or not, they do play a role. Patents protect inventions and innovations, and while you may not be able to patent an episode idea, the technology that you use in making or distributing your podcast might be protected. Think of unique algorithms for better sound quality, or new methods of audio compression, or even innovative distribution platforms. As podcasters, it is essential that we respect patent rights, and when we use patented tech without permission, well, that could be infringement that lands you in legal hot water. So when choosing your podcasting tools or platforms, ensure that the folks you're dealing with have the necessary patent licenses and things like that. Now, next up is trademarks. This is the realm that often hits closest to home for podcasters. Trademarks protect your podcast's brand, the title, the logo, and any other unique slogans or segment names that you might use. It ensures that your brand stands distinct and no one else capitalizes on your reputation. It eliminates confusion. For instance, if you've created a catchy name for your podcast or segment and you've put in the work to build a loyal listener base, you don't want another show popping up with a confusingly similar title, right? This is where trademark protection really comes in strong. If you're curious about how to secure your brand, or if your podcast name or logo might be infringing on someone else's trademark, I've got you covered. You can head over to firemark.com/trademarks, plural, trademarks, for more detailed information and guidance. And next up is the big one. This is copyright, the big content creators' intellectual property format. Now, this form of protection covers the actual content that you produce, from your recorded episodes and show notes to your jingles, your artwork, and all of those kinds of things. Copyright gives its author, the author of a work, exclusive rights to reproduce, to distribute, and adapt the work in question, and it ensures that others can't take it and republish it as their own. But here's the kicker. That protects you as a creator, but it also means that when you're using third-party content, you've got to be aware that there are other people who own copyrights in the equation. Whether it's a song or a clip or even a snippet of another podcast, you have to make sure that you have the rights, that you're using either royalty-free tracks, or that you've obtained proper licenses for the material, or that it was written specifically for you and that therefore you own it. Or be certain that your use falls under the complicated doctrine of fair use, which we talk about from time to time on this show. Now, fair use is much too complicated to rely on for something like a show jingle or a show intro or outro. But if you're using it, a little bit to illustrate a point in your context, that might make some sense as a fair use analysis. So those are the three areas of intellectual property that most podcasters need to be aware of. Patent covers the technology kinds of things. Trademark covers the titles, the brands, the logos, and episode segments and things like that. And copyright protects the actual content of your episodes and of the material that you decide to use to incorporate into your show. So to wrap up, podcasting is a very creative endeavor, but it is intertwined with this world of intellectual property law. And as podcasters, understanding this landscape of patents, trademarks, and copyrights is absolutely crucial. It's how you protect your work and your brand, and it's how you respect the rights of others and make sure that what you're doing is legit and makes you a legit podcast pro. So thank you for tuning in to this episode of Legit Podcast Pro, a little shorter than many. And always remember, in podcasting, your voice matters, but so does the legal integrity behind what you're doing. So stay informed, stay legit, and I'll see you in the next episode. And by the way, if you love this, subscribe and share and tell your friends. Help us grow the show. Thanks.